Hey guys, what's going on? John Haddock from Think About Comics, and today I'm going to be talking about this week's new comics that came out, what was good, what wasn't, and let you know what I think, what I picked up. So right off the bat, we have from IDW, Dying is Easy. It's by Joe Hill. I thought this book was really interesting, something new. It had really cool artwork, a lot of neon colors. It reminded me of like a smoky neon bar kind of feeling. A lot of interesting characters. I mean, everybody you meet is a pretty layered character. They have a lot of stuff going on in their lives, and the main character, he's this disgraced cop who's got this backstory that we kind of get in bits and pieces. One of the things I didn't really like was the plot kind of takes I guess it takes a lot longer to really come forward in what this book is going to be. You don't get that right out the gate. Takes time to develop that. What I really enjoyed about this is it's got a noir setting, but it's not the typical, disgraced cop turns private eye. He's a disgraced cop turned comedian. And we get to see kind of what the comedian lifestyle is at the comedy clubs and stuff like that. So that was something I'm really new to. I never, got to see that kind of lifestyle, and we see that in this. It's minus the PI, he's a stand-up comedian, and some things happen that kind of gets him thrown back into the detective world. Pretty good book. I'm gonna check out number 2 to see where it goes. So next, I got some Marvel books. I'm gonna go with X-Force number 3. I think this one surpasses Marauders as being the best X title out right now. This should be the main X-Men book. A lot of stuff is happening that's going to definitely tie into the other books. We see Jean kind of in a better character story that we haven't really seen her in before. She's showcasing how strong she really is. She's showcasing what personality she is. We get to see Wolverine, Domino, what all happened, and I guess we should say we get to see a clear light in the past 1 and 2 issues, where we see these, mercenaries attack Krakoa, and how are they able to? All those questions get answered in this book, and I think that's going to be really interesting to how it spills over in the other books. The art it's carried over from the past 2 issues. Great X-Men book. Going to continue reading this one. Next for me, we have The Punisher, Punisher Soviet, by Garth Ennis. This is, if you ever read the Punisher Max series, this is amazing. It's hardcore violence. It's what the Punisher is. He's just there. He's doing his thing, and if you get in his way, he's going to destroy you. Continues right from where issue 1 left off. He's meeting up with his friend. They're going to, I guess, team up and go after some Russians and do some Punisher stuff. If you're new to the Max series and that, I would check out the collections, the trades. Go back and explore that before you dive into this book, just because. Just to get understanding of what this isn't the Punisher that you're going to be reading in the Marvel ongoing series, and that this is a totally different Punisher who's set in his own universe. I'm definitely going to be continue following this series. The next is an Immortal Hulk. I thought that this one was pretty good. It's definitely a little offbeat. We get to see Banner towards the end of it. It primarily focuses on the new antagonist that they introduced, the Minotaur, and basically what his values are, what his end goals are, and establishes them as, hey, these are the new bad guys. This is what they're trying to do, and you kind of see how much pull he has in the world and how he can manipulate products and buying and social media to make the Hulk the bad guy. Good read. I'm gonna continue reading Immortal Hulk. It just hasn't disappointed. Let's go into DC. We have the Superman 18, where he tells everyone who he is. I know me and Bethea already touched on this in a video. I think it was one of the better Bendis's Superman books. New status quo for Superman. Hopefully we get better stories out of this. Maybe see Superman in a different role than he hasn't been before. Big Superman fan, so I'm gonna stay to it and keep reading it. If you've kind of dipped off the Superman book, I would definitely pick this one up if you can, and I would definitely continue in reading Superman. Give it 2-3 issues going forward to see if you like it or not. Next is The Dark Knight Returns: The Golden Child by Frank Miller and Raphael Grandpa doing the art. This book, it just I feel like the Dark Knight Returns stuff kind of just needs to fade out. Wasn't really digging the book that well. I wrote down a lot of notes because I didn't know how I wanted to review this book on its own or just tie it in with this week. I feel like I should just do it and just with the regular thing. I don't think it deserves its own video. What I really liked about this book is just how the artwork is. Raphael Grandpa does a great job of kind of, I guess, impersonating what Frank Miller's artwork was and taking away everything I didn't like about Frank Miller's artwork in these Dark Knight Return books. Some pretty cool splash pages. I really like how Carrie's Batwoman or Batgirl looks. It's got a cool look that we really haven't seen in the other characters. Things I really didn't like about this book, I just feel like Laura, Superman's daughter, is just so unlikable. And she just seems like a pain in the ass. She's not somebody I really care about, not somebody I want to read. And her dialogue, it just makes it doesn't make me want to be relatable to her. I mean, obviously Superman isn't relatable to a lot of us because we don't have powers, but the fact that he cares, he tries to be better, and he wants to be, that sign of hope. Laura, I really don't know what she wants to be. We don't get any insight into it. I thought that this book was going to, highlight her and her brother or Jonathan. It really just kind of keeps them even more standoffish towards, the human race in that. Another thing I didn't like about this book is the dialogue itself is very repetitive. I mean, there's a segment where Laura's trying to convince John on how, well, I guess explain to John on why she doesn't like the humans. I think she talks about how they eat and eat and eat like 8 times and how we use fossil fuels and how we break so easily. Just she kept over and over and over saying it. There's a lot of just crowd dialogue, and especially the panels. They're all the same. The panels are kind of confusing to read. They're not in any kind of different color scheme. So you'll have multiple characters having a conversation as it transitions through the story, as the panels tell the story, and you don't know who's talking. I felt that was kind of a pain to deal with. It falls back on a weird political backdrop that I felt didn't really serve the story. I mean, when I get there's like a campaign going on that's starting all these riots and stuff, but they didn't do a very good job of explaining what was the significance of it and how is this changing everything. I've always hated the political backdrops in these books, especially in the Frank Miller books and especially in the Spawn books. I always felt like that shouldn't be in there unless it's relating on how the world deals with these heroes. In this case, it has nothing to do with how the world sees Batgirl or Batwoman, Superman, Laura, or Jonathan Kent. We do get to see Darkseid. He's Darkseid. He's doing his normal, I'm here to destroy everything and take over the world, or recruit Jonathan Kent or whoever he can to join him to destroy the world. If you love Frank Miller, if you love the Dark Knight Returns stuff, I would go after this book. This is definitely better than 2. It's not as good as Master Race. This kind of reminds me a lot of that one shot he did with where Batman and Robin are teaming up doing their own thing. It reminds me a lot like that. To be honest with you, if this was an ongoing series, I wouldn't follow it. If it wouldn't have been a one-shot, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. I went into this book really, really excited because I like the idea of Laura maybe changing her ways, and because in the Master Race at the end we see her with her dad, and they're like I feel like they've developed a better relationship, and she's going to try to follow the Superman-esque stuff. And in this book, it's like she's done a 180. Was really confused on it. Don't think they'll do anything else with this unless they do a Dark Knight Returns 4 maybe. Batman and Superman for the most part are non-existent in this book. Yeah, that's really it with this book. But hey guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to more stuff that me and Bethea do. I'll probably drop another video on the stuff coming out this week. I did a look to see what was coming out. A lot of DC books are coming out. A lot of good independent. Some big Marvel books are coming up. I think The Last Night Batman Black Label book's over. The Wonder Woman book's over. But I'll get into that in another video. As always, guys, give a like, give a subscribe, comment if you like something, didn't like something. I'll definitely sure to get back to you. Always keep reading comics and support your local comic book store, guys. Thanks.